one thing that we all need to remember is the difference between people that make it and the people that aren't is because they've set a certain amount of standards for themselves, and they don't want to fall below what their means is. Now, if you don't understand what I mean by that, if we look at successful people and people that, or yourself for example, if you're someone who knows they're on their shit to a certain extent, if you look at people that don't do this, either you can be on either side of the table. If you're someone who knows they're not doing enough, it's the fact of you not set, it's not you living up to your standard. It's more of a self-respect thing. When you know that you have goals to complete and you know that you should be in a better position than you are now, then you need to start putting the things in place to do so, because so many people miss this out and they think that things will just get better by themselves. Now, one thing is, God has a plan for everyone, but he needs you to fulfill that purpose. He'll give you all of these, he'll put you around people that will maybe boost you to this point, and he'll put you in situations that will do this, but you need to follow through. You can't just take that one little moment and use it as dopamine. Yeah, I did this, I did that. You need to take that, you need to run with it to the furthest extent, if you guys know what I mean. For example, if you're someone who wakes up late, and you shouldn't be doing that. You want to live your life as the person that you see yourself being, because it's not going to happen magically. You're not going to wake up one day with 1,000 extra, however much amount in your account, and start waking up early. You need to actually start doing it, because it's not gonna, you're just delaying your progress, you're hindering your progress, and you're not really living up to your standards. And it's a lot of self-respect when it comes to this, that you need to respect yourself enough to be able to live up to the man that you're supposed to be. You need to respect your future self. You need to respect God's plan, and by doing that, that's going to get you to the place that you need to be. Now, what's good, YouTube? We're back with another video today. More of a different type of video. No, I'm not going to say necessarily super different, but we're just going to sit here and really talk to you guys. I really want to talk to you guys, just let you know a couple things. Hopefully I can inspire some of you guys and change some of you guys' perspective on a few things. And yeah, that's really what we're going to do today. I'm going to leave it a bit raw, unedited. I'm going to pause it a bit, you get me? So it's a bit more smooth for you guys to watch. But we're really just going to cover some topics that you guys will need to hear. Now, what I mean by living up to your standards and respecting your future self and respecting God's plan is by setting a list. Now, a lot of people, they don't write these things down. They think they could just do it off the top of their head, but that's not always how it works. When you know there's a lot of stuff you need to catch up on, and there's a lot of goals that you need to hit, you need to actually write the stuff down. Because when you write something down, it installs in your head and it creates like a checklist. And when you look back at that, then you know that these are the things that need to be done. So you actually need to put in that effort to get it done. You can't just be living life on the edge, I'd say, or living life on thin ice. Because when you do that, you don't allow your dreams to be fulfilled. And a lot of you guys need to hear this. You really need to allow your dreams to be fulfilled, and the way you can do this is literally just by living up to the standards that you know you should be living up to. I hope you guys understand this, because this is so important when it comes to making progress in life and becoming the person that you want to be. Because when you don't, then you're just sitting at the same level. You need to be getting better every day and really just looking for improvement. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. No one's saying that you need to all of a sudden just start, you get me, all of a sudden you just need to jump off that cliff and take the huge leap. But in a sense, it is a huge leap, because you're transitioning into the person that you need to be. So just take these steps daily. Every day you want to become a bit better. You don't want to spend your days doing the exact same thing. That's not getting you anywhere, clearly. Now, if you're spending your days doing the things that you know you should be doing, then you're on the right path. And don't let you not seeing a lot of progress hinder or make you have some doubts about that, because it's going to eventually happen. One small step is going to equal 100 steps in 100 days, and it's only going to compound. But when you're just sitting there and you're not really doing the things that you know you're actually meant to be doing, and a lot of you guys will know the things that you're meant to be doing, just start. Because God's a very powerful. We all know. I shouldn't need to explain that too much, but the way your head works, the way your brain works, is you'll know the things that you've been avoiding, and you'll come up with every other excuse to go around that, and yeah, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. But you know what you're meant to do, and you need to actually do that in order to make that progress. Now, you want to rewire your brain to a certain extent, or just fully. You literally need to rewire your brain. You need to rewire your brain in order to reach that level, and to have your brain or have yourself thinking in a certain way where it's like, if you're not doing what you're meant to be doing, then you start to feel a certain sort of fatigue. You start to feel like, wait, I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing. You need to think like that 24/7, because that's the first step to taking yourself to the next level. Because once you think like that, once you start to think in a way that's like, I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing, let me go do it quickly. And it's a lot of different elements to this, and a lot of different elements that you need to rewire in your brain in order to think this certain way. But when you do that, then you'll automatically start doing the things that you know you're meant to be doing. Because a lot of you guys, or a lot of people, naturally, you're just going to be lazy and you're not going to be doing the things that you're meant to be doing. And that's because your brain's wired that way. You've allowed that to run for so long that it's not allowing you to benefit in your life. But when you start to actually rewire your brain, and I'm not just saying this out of nowhere, there's literally quotes in the Bible that can reference this exact type of things that I'm talking about, these exact things that I'm talking about. When you rewire your brain to think a certain way, like what I'm saying, then you're going to force yourself to start taking steps, and you may not even realize it, but you'll feel it. You'll feel that you're living in your purpose, and you'll know that you'll be doing the right things, and you'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel better about reaching your goals, and it's not going to happen instantaneously, like I said, but you'll start to notice that things are changing after a while. You'll start to implement them things. Now, when you get them little voices in your head, that's God speaking to you. When it's the voice that it's like yourself speaking to yourself, but you know it's something that's like very important that you should be listening to, don't block it out, because you need to let God speak to you. You need to listen, because when you do that, you're literally allowing God to speak to you. You're taking it in and you're implementing it into your life, and you're going to be guided throughout the whole way. So you just need to really listen to his cues. I'd say a lot of you guys should start talking to God. Now, when I say talking to God, I don't just mean talking and not expecting a response. So when you talk to God, you're actually going to get a response, but you need to start genuinely listening. Because I'll tell you guys something, that little voice in your head, when you start to panic or doubt and it sounds like something that's very smart and you might not come up with it, it's God speaking to you. It's the Holy Spirit within you, and you're gonna think it's yourself speaking to yourself, like a motivational side of you, and to some extent it is, but that's God's presence in you, and it's trying to craft you into what you're supposed to be. You need to listen to this. I'd say start actually, when you're waking up, stop going on your phone instantly, get in the shower and speak to God. Tell him your plans for the day and do all of that. It's going to benefit you so much, because when you start taking in what God's telling you, it's not good for you to not take in what God's telling you, because when you start taking it in, then he's going to give you the right advice. One thing about God, he doesn't lie. Now, a lot of you may be thinking I'm talking a lot of religious talk. I'm not even religious myself. I just follow the truth. And I'm telling you guys from experience that it's going to work out. As soon as you start talking to God, you start telling him your plans. I've had days where I've been up to whatever, and before I've got up to my day, before the day started, when I've got in the shower, I've talked to God. I told him what I want to do, and it's ran just like how I planned it to run. But it's not like I've planned it. It's just I've told him what I want to do, and it's happened. It's like a miracle, and you guys will find out when you start doing it. I see you guys talk to God, and it's gonna sound like God talking back to you in your head. What I meant to say is, it's gonna sound like you speaking to yourself in your head, but it's gonna be something so sensible that you won't even expect it to be that. You wouldn't even expect it yourself to say something like that, and that's when you realize that it's really God speaking to you and communicating with you. Now, past that topic, what you want to do, this is how you elevate. This is exactly how you elevate. telling me your plans, because with God you can do everything, and it's going to be such a smooth ride from there. Now, back to the first point I was talking about, to start elevating and to start rewiring your brain. This is how you're going to do it. That's exactly how you're going to do it. Now, you can do it to a certain extent by yourself, but you have to have faith in the Lord. You have to have faith in God to be able to help you get through your plans, because as humans, we're not able to take so much steps so easily by ourselves, and it can be difficult. But when you acknowledge God's presence and you know that He's there helping you, it's going to help you so much. It's going to boost your confidence, and things are just going to happen just like that. But yeah, that's just a little word of advice for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys really take this in and implement this into your day, because it's one of the biggest advice I can give. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace.